Joining me now is a very special guest here who has been covering this entire Haiti province since the time of destruction, and he has his own understanding of the situation right now. And in fact, we'll be taking some questions from him. Sir, I appreciate you joining here on CNN News 18. So would like to understand from you, the relief work is going on, the tents have been set up, the food materials are being distributed. What do you think is more to be done when you speak to people, when you do your own coverage? What exactly they require, what exactly material they need, and what are they looking for?
Yeah. So let's start at the beginning in terms of how late the aid was in coming here. Part of it has to do with the region and the extent of the earthquake. The other part is the lack of coordination. In the past, we used to have the army basically coming in and immediately help, like in the 1999 earthquake. It didn't happen here.
Okay.
So that means a lot of people actually lost loved ones, because if you don't find people under the rubble in the first 3 days, then your chances go downhill. Right now, if you talk to people in the area, what they need is basically a place to stay aside from the tents. Many of them actually have makeshift accommodation, including kind of tents that were given to them by private volunteers. They need proper accommodation, containers, and at the same time, a lot of the places don't have electricity, like natural gas or water, running water, right? So you can understand how infectious diseases can start, and that's one of the risks right now.
Then government also takes extra taxes on the name of earthquake, and there is also AFAD, the highest authority for the disaster management. So would like to understand from you that so many mechanisms are already in place in the country. So do you really think that that level of relief work is going on? Because in fact people are complaining that the buildings were not built as per the code law, the law of the land. Then the taxes that government take, that level of relief and material has not reached. As you yourself said, that after 3 days the rescue teams are reaching in some of the places. So do you really think that level of relief and relief has reached to the people, that level of
You have multiple questions here. One has to do with whether the building code has been applied. I think visually, if you look at the area, you'll see that there are some buildings that are standing and some buildings that are not standing, right? So that obviously shows you that some people are, taking shortcuts in building. Others are doing the proper work, right? How many of them, what percentage of, I can't say. All I know is that, anecdotally, for example, in Iskenderun, which is, about an hour west of here, there was a city hospital with a intensive care unit that actually had a law saying this unit is not fit for purpose, is not fit to house patients because of the building compromises. And that was back in 2012, destroyed, which means that the people who died there, close to 100, right now could have been living.
Okay, thank you so much for speaking to CNN News 18. We were speaking to Tam, who also happens to be a journalist and has been covering this region. Now he has to add a lot of perspective to the coverage that we are going here on ground. He has told us that in many areas teams have reached 3 days after the destruction. And he also has to say that when the code was in place, building code has been in place, then also when government is taking extra taxes, then that level of relief material, that level of help has not reached people. And when some buildings are completely safe, then there are buildings which have got collapsed. So it means that many contractors have not done their work rightly. So thank you, Tam, for adding your perspective to this entire coverage. This is Siddhant Mishra reporting from Antakya for CNN News 18.